gap fill strategy on SPY, QQQ, and futures. If you're a SPY, QQQ, index trader, or a futures trader, this is a very high probability trading strategy that you can use. So this morning when we came in, SPY was gapping down, QQQ was gapping down. And you can see that futures showed a similar gap down as well. So the gap down is the price where index or stock closed yesterday and where it opened this morning. So that's a gap. So when initially the market opened this morning, we were not sure what's going to do. Something to watch here is also the amateur move that I often teach you guys. The amateur move is the first move. So amateur move, initially we saw a candle pushing down and it held the pre-market lows. We would have bearish bias if we broke the pre-market lows, but you see in these both cases we held this pre-market lows and right away it pushed over the Ripster MTF clouds. And not only that, we were waiting and watching VIX, and you see that VIX rejected from the Ripster MTF clouds, which gave us a long signal on the market. And that's when I told everybody in the community that SPY has turned 512 MTF long. VIX breaks 20, we fill the gap. So we are also using a VIX strategy here because VIX is elevated. Whenever VIX is elevated, it helps us to trade a repeatable strategy. That's when I gave everybody long on SPY, and as I said, if we break towards 20, we were going to fill the gap, and QQQ is also in the gap. The stops on the SPY was 564, stops on QQQ were 478.50, and then we targeting our gap fill by 10 a.m. and we did get our gap fill by 10 a.m. But once the gap breaks out of the gap highs, it can continue to push, and your next target is always the pre-market highs. The same thing on QQQs, your next target is always the pre-market highs, and the yesterday highs your target, and you keep moving your stops up. And same thing for the Nasdaq future. As soon as it pushes over the QQQs, our MTF clouds, it's become our gap fill long setup. And as you see there, I also tweeted about this, the plan exactly, no hindsight, that gap fill bounce, VIX fills at 20, we should fill the gap, and we did fill the gap just as per the plan. And this gap fill, you got almost $5 per share on SPY, almost $5 per share on QQQs. The options went 200% on SPY. So if you traded with $1,000, you made another $2,000 here. And Nasdaq future gives you over 200 points. This is the strategy you must use. You must trade when there's a gap, because whenever there's a gap, either up gap or down gap, there's a chance of the gap fill. And you use other concepts like Ripster clouds, VIX to make these gap fill long trades, and you're done with the trade in first 1 hour. And as you see, when 512 broke, we were all out of that long trade. Successful long trade, everybody green in the community on this trade.
Come to trade with Ripster. Join the community at www.tenettradegroup.com.